So, babe, I have a question. Because I know you're a counselor, I don't know whether somebody has ever asked you such a kind of a question or not, but I know that there are people out there who have either they have a relative or they know somebody who's going through a situation. There's this kind of you can get and you're talking this in the lens of scriptures as a Christian, not as how the world would see it. Because I know you're a counselor. The good thing is you do counseling and you know the spiritual matters. So you have a family that these people are together, husband and wife. They have children, and all they say is that they are together because of kids. They're together because of kids. Now, the man has his own issues. Maybe he's a womanizer, so they had issues, they fought, maybe or something else. Or still could be the wife who has issues the husband doesn't like. He feels like achana tu na yeye. So the husband anamwachia tu watoto na maid just taking care of the kids. Maybe hawataki kuachana tu sababu ya watoto. So they're together. So kids are, I find like kids they're picking things that are not right. And you see in such atmosphere, life is spiritual. And there could be spirits that will haunt these kids. I don't know what's your take about that, maybe as a counselor and in the lens of scriptures and as a Christian. How would you advise maybe such a family?
Well, just like the way you have said, life is spiritual. And sometimes I hear that phrase a lot. You know, maybe a woman saying, you know, I cannot leave this family. We have built so much. I am here because of the children. I'm here because I want to give. Actually, they say, I want to give my children a complete family. That is what they say. And it's a very broad topic to try to reprogram whatever that person is viewing like a complete family is. Because a complete family doesn't mean it consists of a mother and father and children. It can be a completely broken family, which is standing. So when I hear a woman say, or a man say, you know, I cannot leave this woman, I'm here because of the kids. I cannot leave this man, I'm here because of kids. And actually, mostly, let me just clear this, mostly it's women who say these things, because when a men don't like stress. You cannot stress a man. Men hawavumili. Unaona tunaambiwa wanawake ni kuvumilia. Men don't do that. The moment you have stressed that man out, he is gone and he's going to find peace. It's only women who say navumilia sababu ya watoto. Now, we are not advocating for breakups. We are talking this in the context, especially on the scriptures. So when a woman says, I cannot leave this man because of children, the first thing, when someone says that, it means they are not okay. Because if given a chance, they would have left. But now they are not living because of children. And I always say, marriage problems doesn't come from the marriage setup itself. It doesn't come from within the marriage. It comes from these individuals, these different people, this man and this woman, their own problems, their own personal problems. When they merge, they create marriage problems. But marriage itself, just the way it was created by God, it's pure, should be holy, should be, you know, righteous and all that. But now when you come together with all these problems, all these battles you're fighting from inside, all these traumas each and everyone has gone through before you came together, those problems are the ones that creates problems in marriages. And now people are married to people in chains, to like prisoners in chains. You're married to a man who has a very traumatic, or had a very traumatic childhood. They were neglected, they were rejected, they were subjected to physical abuse. emotional abuse. So whatever character that has come out of them, it's not the real them, because God did not create anybody with an attitude. God did not create you arrogant. God did not create you proud. All these are characters that are brought up by whatever we go through, especially during developmental stage of children between 1 to 7 years. Whatever that is happening in that family, that child is picking. If you two are showing each other attitude, calling each other's names, you know, insults, that is what the child is picking, whether it's positive or negative. If you're showing love, if you're being kind to each other, you're showing them how to treat each other, the child will still pick that. But now if it's negative, it's going to create another person which is not this real person from the characters. Pain doesn't blow up as pain, it blows up as a personality. When you go through neglect, when you're rejected, you'll be someone who's withdrawing from people, someone who thinks they're always independent, they don't need people, they can do it for themselves. So when each and every one of you come with those things in the marriage, they are going to cause problems. And now, because neither of you maybe know, you know, sometimes mgonjwa anjuangi ni mgonjwa, neither of you knows they are suffering from those traumas. You know, you hear someone say, mi nakuanga hivyo, but haukuangi hivyo. That is not how you are created. Haukuangi hivyo. You are not created like that. That is just a coping mechanism from the pain you have gone through. You know, so when you say, I cannot leave this man because of children, and whatever you are sacrificing is still there in that marriage. Maybe he's a womanizer, you just give him, you know, the free will. Go and do whatever you're going to do. We have said life is spiritual. He might go out there and sleep with other people and just come to you, transfer the spirits. And now, because everything that we do, every personality, same if you are rude, there's a spirit behind that. Now someone is going to come and say, you know, Rachel, you don't understand my husband. He is very stubborn. You cannot talk to him. He does not listen. You cannot correct him. He doesn't take criticism. But behind that stubbornness, there's a spirit talking. Behind that rudeness, there's a spirit that is pushing and backing this rudeness until this person now is rude to you or is stubborn to you, cannot listen to you. So whatever it is that you cannot leave this man for, it's going to be picked by these children, because that child is half you, half me. They get the energies was in a resonate. You know, they are getting the energies. So now what you can do, because I've told you I had this, yes, I've had them in counseling for marriage therapy. What you can do is not sacrifice yourself or your inner peace for the sake of these children. Because we say children are blessings, they come and they also go. We are just custodians. We were given children to raise them. And you cannot raise them yourself if you're not okay. We say you cannot give what you don't have. You cannot make someone happy if you are unhappy yourself. You cannot give, you cannot give what you don't have. Give me 100,000 and you don't have. No matter how much of a good heart you have, you cannot. So first is working on yourself. Not for yourself only, but for you, for your children, those around you, and for your spouse. Because when you remove that guilt, that stubbornness, whatever trauma that you're going through, you can go to counseling and work through them. When you become a better person, you become a better husband or a better wife. Now, when it comes to children, you cannot give your child a complete family if it is completely broken. If your relationship between you two is broken. So what you do, you work on yourself individually, and then you work on the marriage as a whole. Because whatever that is going through within you, that is what you do. Even to Nambanga na Bible, out of the abundance of your heart, the mouth speaks. So whatever that is going through you, or within you, you might think you're giving these children a happy family or a complete family, but you're going to be raising monsters. We say, narcissists are not born, they are made. They are created. Nobody is born a narcissist, they are created.
Who's a narcissist?
A narcissist they are like these emotionless people. They are people who don't have the emotional intelligence. They don't have the power or the capacity to express emotions or be emotional. Huyo ni mtu utakuja umwambie fulani alikufa and they don't bother. Like everybody dies, move on. That is someone, they are so proud. Their whole character.
They're self-centered.
Very. They are self-centered. Their whole character is about them. They are so proud. You cannot talk to them. You cannot correct them.
That is right.
Of course, they are always right. And they can't do anything which is not their idea. And they love show off. They love fame. And actually, a narcissist can be two-faced. He can be a very good person in public and a devil in private. So narcissists are not born, they are made through what happens in the families they have been raised in. If you were brought up in a family where parents always fight, call each other names, sometimes unaweza ona kitu you just flinch, unaruka, because you always think you are in danger and your mind is created, it was created to protect you. That is why unaonanga mpaka ukipika uende kushika sufuria moto hivi unarukisha mkono, because the mind has already sensed you are in danger and its work is to keep you away from harm. So now when you are going through neglect, maybe when you are a child and maybe you are in a family that is having issues, whatever that is happening there, what you get is a coping mechanism to keep you safe from whatever is happening. That is why you can gain a character ya kukua very independent. You are not independent, it's just a coping mechanism. Because people have failed you. You have trusted people and they have failed you. Unasikianga, mimi napenda kujikalisha. Si ati unapenda kujikalisha. Ni because you have been with people and they have failed you. So you don't love it, it's just a coping mechanism to protect yourself. So when you say you're giving these children a happy marriage or a happy family, and you yourself, nyinyi wawili, you're not happy, they are going to pick all those characters and they are going to get them. They are going to get certain personalities and characters which will make them the adults they are. Actually, the kind of a person you are today, haijakuja sahi, it's what you have been ukiwa mtoto, what you have gone through. You are not Isaac now because you are big. The Isaac that you are, if you are kind, if you are generous, if you are loving, that is because that is what you picked when you are growing up. If you are rude, arrogant, an abuser, someone who insults people and all that, someone who hurts people, you picked that when you were growing up. So you can stay in that family, and we are not saying you go anywhere. You can stay in that family, but just know you are not actually doing those children any good. You are going to raise them with a very bad attitude. You are going to raise them to be independent people. You are going to raise them to be unkind, ungenerous, people who are always seeking for attention because they don't have attention from you as parents. They will have all these kind of characters. So what you can do is pray for your partner. Work with your partner and work with yourself. Be a better person for these children, for your husband and everyone around you.
So should they, what can they do maybe to salvage the situation?
To salvage the situation?
Yeah, in a Christian environment, maybe they should seek counseling from their pastors, or maybe they should pray about it.
First thing, we say we incorporate God in everything. As much as you go to therapy or as much as you go to counseling.
Sorry for cutting short. Because you may have a situation whereby the husband and the wife both go to church. So some are even not together because of kids. They're together because the church doesn't like separation or divorce. So they're just together maybe to make the church happy. but the family will break up. They're just like co-parenting. The children know everything that is happening. They are picking, as you say, that the children are picking issues. They are picking characters. But these people are just there for the sake of the church. They're not working out on anything. So sometimes you can get a combination of both, because of kids and because of church. So because they also don't want to call it quits. Because
now the question is, you're together because you're protecting this church thing, church name, church blood, or whatever. But the real question is that how marriage is supposed to be? Because marriage is not supposed to be endured, it's supposed to be enjoyed. If you're together and you're not enjoying each other, that is not marriage, that is like a prison. So what you do, you don't just stay in prison, you work your way out. If you are having issues, it's something that can be salvaged, because it takes both a lot of humility and a lot of accountability for you to be able to know, to say, I have been doing wrong, this is wrong, and I am willing to work on it. Can we work on it as a couple? You can salvage the situation. But you cannot say you are together because of church, because actually we are only in church for maybe 2 days in a week. All the other days we are together. And if we are treating each other bad, what good does it make? Because the church is the body of Christ, is made up of families. But if these families are broken, what kind of a church do we have? You're going to have a broken church. And when you're having issues, especially marital issues, they affect even your spiritual life. So you can be in church and you're not in church. So we don't put those things in the box like that. You can't say I'm in this marriage because of church, or I am in this marriage because of children. Children are a bonus in a marriage. They are a blessing. You can have them or not.
And they can leave you.
And they can leave you.
And leave you together again.
Yeah, they will leave you together. So I always say, cultivate your relationship as a couple. Ukiwa umeweka watoto kando, you cultivate your relationship as a couple, because once these children leave, you can spend all your time providing. You can spend all your time working, looking for money for this family. And then you are going to educate these children and they are going to leave you. Now they are going to leave you too when you are old. And you did not even have any relationship. That is where unaendanga kutembea kwa mtu, kila mtu ako na bedroom yake huko. Ukiwaona they are very happy family, but kila mtu ako kivyake.
And Masaio, the children that you've been because of those children, wametoka hapo wakiwa narcissists.
Wametoka hapo,
bring problems in their families again.
Wametoka hapo with their own issues they have picked from you too, but they are educated, they are going to be successful, but they are not going to be happy.
You can imagine now, if a child was born out of that, has been raised in such environment, has become a narcissist. So ameenda amekuwa mkubwa, na hiyo familia analea nayo, definitely it's a seed of narcissism. You cannot raise children the way you don't. Pia wewe unashananga ukiniambia you cannot know things beyond your capacity. You have, that is why we keep on increasing knowledge. Sindio? You cannot know anything beyond your capacity. So you cannot raise children well if you don't understand what does well mean. So you are going to raise them the way you know how. And the way you know how is this narcissism, is this attitude and everything that has happened to you. And now it's going to become a cycle. You're going to raise children who are going to raise other children who are going to raise other children within this bad cycle. So the better you can do, the best you can do as a parent is work on yourself. And work on yourself, work on your marriage, so that you can be a better parent, so that you can bring up good children with good characters and morals and personality. So when they go out there and they meet other people, they are going to be also good to them. When your boy goes and meet a girl, he is going to treat her well. Benyameona akitreatiwa
mamake akitritiwa nyumbani. But kama unamwonyeshanga mwanamke si kitu, unaweza tusi, unaweza wafurusha uwapeleke nje, it's not going to be okay for them. So don't bring up children in a completely broken family. Bring them in a complete family which is happy, knowing that you're not doing that for them. They are going to be, you know, they are going to be in charge of other people. So for the sake of them and other people that are going to be attached by them or to them, raise good children. And it starts with you as a parent.
So, hope you heard. If you're having such an issue, the best way is to find a middle ground and solve the issue. If you cannot do it between you two, you can seek a neutral party. That can be a professional counselor or your church leader. It could be your pastor or your elder or somebody whom you can trust with your issues, because you can't just go telling anybody about your issues.
Baby, let me cut you kidogo. Even our church leaders and everything, you know, you have to understand the kind of a pastor that you're going to. You can go to a pastor and you are just giving them content for the next sermon. Yes. So you have to understand. I also tell people, even when you're talking to friends, especially when it comes to marital issues, do not tell anybody, just anybody about your things. Even parents, they become biased. Tuseme mtu amekuja na mtoto wako anakuambia mtoto wako anafanya because you ni mtoto wako, maternal instinct, you are going to side with that. And ni wazazi wachache sana, they don't side with their children. So parents can become biased, but there are so good parents out there. Wengine they support, they hawaendangi side ingine, they just want peace, you know. Na kuna pastors when you can't go to them. Oh, I'm saying that evaluate this person that you're going to. Know that there's a person that can help you. Usikwe, even friends. You can tell friends, na kumbe unawapea stories zako ndio now ukiondoka, they will have wakwambia, hey, unaona hata yule hata ukimwona hivyo kwake. Kwake. Bwana yake, bibi yake. You know, don't talk to friends. The best thing you can do is find a middle ground and a middle person, such as a counselor. You can go to therapy. That is someone who is trained to help you solve issues, and everything is going to be. And then you incorporate God in everything, because you can go to that therapy, but if you do not have the backup of God, it's not going to work. Yeah.
So that is it. Follow us on our social media channels, subscribe to our YouTube, and stay blessed. See you in the next video.